I think what the United States has done is to really play according to the Israeli agenda of bringing about not just the destruction of Iranian nuclear facilities, but implementing and instigating a regime change. The ultimate objective of Netanyahu in relation to Iran has been regime change. He's made it very clear that he doesn't tolerate the Islamic regime in power in Iran, sees it as an existential threat, and the United States is simply playing along with that. The United States should have known and should know really that by bombing Iran, that's not going to change Iranian policies. By bombing Iran, they will simply reinforce the animosity and the tension that already exists between Iran and the United States. And it really sets the whole region on a really dangerous course. What that means is that the United States has now made itself a legitimate target of Iranian retaliation. Iran did warn the United States that attacks on Iranian territory would be an act of war, and under international law, Iran has the right to defend itself, and that means that all U.S. assets in the region, the 40,000 U.S. personnel and troops in the region, have now become targets for potential Iranian reprisal. I think Iran has two options in front of it to respond diplomatically. That is, take the case to the United Nations Security Council and ask for international condemnation of U.S. unilateral attack, which is an act of war. There would be plenty of support for that position. Russia, China, and many other states would agree with that interpretation of the U.S. action as an act of war. But Iran also has a military option in front of it, and there is every indication that Iran would also take that option of hitting U.S. bases or hitting U.S. assets in the region, not just directly by itself, but also using its various proxies and allies in the region. Well, the three sites are important for Iran's nuclear program as enrichment sites. Especially Fordow is deep underground, and it was very clear that Israel didn't have the technological capability to hit underground facilities, and it really needed the bunker buster bombs that only the United States has to destroy them. Now, we don't know if Fordow was destroyed. We don't know the level of damage because that's some 80 meters underground. And we don't know if there is a radiation leak as a result of the attack. So there are so many questions that we don't have answers to. The idea that that foreign intervention by Israel and by the United States would somehow instigate regime change, somehow instigate a popular revolt against the regime is quite fanciful, because now the Iranian population is just looking for safety. They are struggling to find fuel, to have electricity, have internet. Those are the most pressing issues for the Iranian population, and regime change is far from being first on their agenda.